Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to our usual programming here on a Monday on Kirch's Corner. Back to the usual. It's been a while after the Packers special. I took a little break. That was my longest episode by far. So I felt it was only necessary I would wait a little bit. Plus, there wasn't too much going on. Still somewhat of the same story, with the Packers. I covered a lot in that episode. Go back and listen to it if you haven't. It's a little bit longer, but I put a lot of work into that. I'm pretty proud of it, and I think it's pretty good. Other than that, we can get into what's been going on lately, although not too much. So as usual, we can start off with the Bucks. Yeah, nothing really going on. This is the real dead point of the offseason. Summer league's over, at least for the Bucks, and yeah, there's not really much to learn about. The team's just still, there's going to be occasional rumors of people that want to get traded. Jonathan Kuminga ended up not being a Buck, or at least for now. Drew Holiday seemingly staying with the Trailblazers kind of rules out that Bucks reunion, but yeah, I'm fishing for anything I can get here. There's really not much going on, but I'm pretty excited for that season, but right now, not much to say. I think they're kind of off the radar as down in Green Bay. Football's kind of starting back up. We had the Hall of Fame game for preseason, so preseason's getting underway, but still not much going on with the Packers. They had Family Fun Night. That was pretty cool. I saw some highlights from that. A few players that are looking to make a name for themselves from that, but again, it was just a practice. I'm going to take that with a grain of salt, but it looked pretty cool. Looked really fun as always. I've been to a few of those myself. They're always great way to hype up the season. We're getting there. We're getting close. And other than that, for the NFL, Micah Parsons just requested a trade from the Cowboys. They can't work out his contract. You're going to hear, the Packers might get Micah Parsons. No, they're not. If they do, that'd be really cool. They'd have to give up a haul to get him, but I would not ever expect the Packers to ever do anything remotely close to that. So, again, I would just stay with an eye on that and it could happen, maybe, but not really. Fun ideas, but I think they're kind of setting their squad in stone right now. I think they feel good with who they have. There's still the possibility for a wide receiver to be moved, but, I think they're rolling pretty smooth at this point, and there's just going to be a lot of speculation. But other than that, preseason coming up, so a chance to check out some rookies and stuff like that. So, again, we're in the offseason, but while the Bucks are dying down in the offseason, the Packers are picking it up, getting closer to the regular season. And on a side note, I did actually see Banana Ball the other day at CHS Field, St. Paul. That was pretty cool, actually. I know some people are not on board with that sort of thing, the dancing and whatnot. I thought it was pretty awesome. And you know what? I dare to say, it'd probably be better than watching some baseball games. It might be the most fun show in baseball, is what I would say if the Brewers were not the best team in the MLB right now. Nobody's better than the Brewers. Nobody's better to watch. There is nobody in front of them. They are next to none. The best team in the MLB. I've waited a long time for this. I don't remember the last time that a Wisconsin team was ranked that high since the Bucks won the championship. I think, I said before, if the Brewers can keep this going, they'll be really impressive and they're going to, become the team to be reckoned with. And you know what? It's coming true. We knew that before the All-Star break, swept the Dodgers, headed into the All-Star break really hot, won about 8-9 straight. Before the break, I looked at this, stretching back to mid-June, so almost 2 months ago now, when they played the Cardinals at home. So I went from there to the All-Star break. That was 23 games. In that stretch, they went 18-5 overall. It's just mind-boggling to think how good they are in these stretches. And then you go down to after the All-Star break. It was really worrying to think that the Brewers were going to take on the Dodgers in LA again. And, especially with a lot of people thinking that first sweep might have been a fluke, the Dodgers are scary, this and that. I was a little worried. But then they swept them again, twice. I mean, that payroll difference was all over social media. Really impressive stuff. After that, swept the Angels, almost swept the Mariners, dropped one of those games, lost the series to the Marlins at home. That's really curious. The Marlins seem to have their number. They took a game in the last series they played. But again, Milwaukee won that one. They lost that series. Really odd, but, I take that with a grain of salt. And then the big series that everybody was talking about against the Cubs in Milwaukee. At this point, the Cubs, Brewers, neck and neck, best team in the NL, best team in the NL Central. It's kind of a big decider. And the Brewers took that one too. They lost game 3 by about 7 runs, but gosh, they were really impressive. Took that series. They just swept the Nationals. And in this stretch since the break, the second half of the season they like to call it, they're 11-4. And if you count that stretch, so all the way back to mid-June to now, they've gone 29-9. I mean, they've just been far and away the most underrated team and the best team in baseball. Really fun to watch. And if you're from Wisconsin, if you're a Wisconsin sports fan, you have to give all your attention to the Brewers right now. This is really cool stuff that they're doing, playing so well, the hottest team in the MLB, and it seems like they're not looking back. And some great stats I found. In the last 30 days, Jackson Chourio has been amazing. 29 hits, 6 doubles, 3 home runs, batting .387, .613 slugging. That's one of the best hitters in the past month. And that brings me to my next point. Andrew Vaughn, King Vaughn as they call him, has been the steal of the century with that trade with the White Sox. Gave up virtually nothing for this guy that has been the streakiest hitter in the entire league with how good he's been. It's almost like a Linsanity run for this guy. It's just been ridiculous. In the last 15 days, batting .383, slugging .681, 12 RBIs, 4 home runs, and 18 hits. I mean, you can't even write this stuff. He has been excellent. And now circling back to the last 30 days, the batting has been off the charts. We all know the Brewers' pitching is good. That's their mojo, what they're always good at. But the hitting has been the real difference maker. In the last month, there's been a lot of players batting over .300. Contreras, Chourio, Vaughn, Isaac Collins, Caleb Durbin, Sal Frelick, all those guys, regular people on the team, putting together a lot of effort to kind of will these games for the Brewers. In the last week, William Contreras has been even better. 13 hits, 11 runs, 3 home runs, 5 RBIs, batting .464, .857 slugging. I mean, I don't know. There's not much more I can say about it other than this is really crazy stuff that they're doing. And that's really about all you need to know. They're doing amazing. I love the team that they've built in the sense that there's not really just one star or even a collection. I like that it's a kind of a collective group effort from the team. There's a bunch of guys that kind of just put together good base running, good offense, good defense. They're a great contact team. They don't hit a lot of home runs, but they're great at putting runs on the board. Now here we get to the negative. On the injured list, there's a little bit to worry about. Not really, though, but just keeping you up to date. Jacob Mizorowski had a left tibia contusion. He was hit by a line drive against that recent series against the Cubs, and he was just put on the 15-day injured list, so obviously hoping everything's okay there. He's been a massive difference maker as well as he came up to the majors and just took the league by storm. Fewest games to become an all-star. We've said all we can say. Then Jackson Chourio, who's been great this last month. He has a right hamstring strain. He's expected to return later this month at the earliest. The concern isn't really of the severity, it's just the location of the strain. So, it's not like there's anything to really look too far into there. So, just a player that's missing right now. And, you always hate that, one of your top guys. Sal Frelick having some knee soreness in his surgically repaired left meniscus. So he's day to day right now, but that's a little bit worrying, that knee that bothers him. And you kind of hope that it's just a temporary thing. He's been a great contact hitter for the Brewers, batting nearly about 300. And, hopefully that's all right. And then recently at the trade deadline, made minimal moves, really. I think they traded Nestor Cortez, their starting pitcher. He was previously a Yankee. You didn't see much from him this year, but he was traded, and a prospect to San Diego for Brandon Lockridge. So that's something, I guess. And they also got a catcher, Danny Jensen, from the Tampa Bay Rays. Nothing really to write home about. A lot of people were kind of upset with the Brewers, at least nationally, for what they've done at the deadline. They expected to see more, being the best team in the MLB. But again, they never really make those big moves. If anything, it's always those big moves of trading somebody away. The bigger trades I can remember in recent history are Josh Hader, Devin Williams, Corbin Burns, simple stuff like that. And I'm not surprised by this. You would have liked to see somebody brought in like Willie Castro that could have made a big difference, but it's not like they're in a bad spot or even need to hit the panic button at all. There's room for improvement, obviously. There's great players out there. We don't have the best players in the league, but they play like it. But, as they say, classic saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They've always been the team to kind of look into these cheaper ragtag groups that can put together wins. And that's what they do best. That's what they're doing right now. And I don't expect anything to change. I'm excited to watch them more into this season as we get closer to the postseason. It's been a while since we've seen a really deep Brewers run, so I'm hoping for that. Knock on wood. But yeah, other than that, that's about all you need to know from the past week. Not a whole lot going on, so make sure you keep your eyes on the Brewers. As always, I've been Lucas Kirchner here on Kirch's Corner. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.